What's going on, YouTube? I already have a thumbs up. I just started 2 seconds ago. What's up, lunatic, psycho, something or other? I can never remember your correct. Lunatic, psycho, savage, I thought was the original. Well, just consider this. I can't. You're not even 18, but I was just gonna say that, like, back in the day in school, you know, um, let's just say that back in the day you had to deal with more of it. Not in a bad way. I'm just like locker rooms and bathrooms, stuff like that. So showers, whatever. Yeah. Anyways, what's up, Joe? From San Diego. Oh, San Diego's. Oh, I miss San Diego. I don't miss a lot of cities, but I do miss San Diego. Mostly just water. That was nice. There was nice area, nice. There's a great place I found by a bay and park. I think parking was free. Yeah, parking was free, which is a miracle in of itself. There was a nice, just wide enough strip to set up a windsurfing board, and it was never ridiculously busy. It was like a dream come true for a windsurfer, anyways. Wannabe windsurfer that I am. But yeah, gonna do a quick little update. Working on the boat today, trying to get a little booger out of my coffee cup, which is kind of gross. Not a literal booger, just something. Hold on. Can't too long this time. Packing for a trip in 4 days. Where are you going, dude? Tell me about your trip. Tell us about your trip. Oh, I don't know. It's in here now. That's a shame. Well, there's a whole website of tentatively what it looks like. It mostly looks like this. But I have two surfboards. What's up, Jordan? Instead of outriggers, so um, event type of trip that isn't too far. I could walk back in 18 hours if I wanted. What's up, JD? Just doing a little bit, just doing a little update. Mostly, I'm procrastinating tearing my whole goddamn house upside down because there's a piece to the boat, and I don't know where the fuck it is, and I don't know where I put it. I don't know what I did with it. Um, and my place is pretty organized. Like, I usually keep stuff in the same place. I don't, I have a few areas with like hodgepodge stuff, and I've definitely like been checking there first, but for the life of me, I cannot figure out, like, I'm sure I'll find it. Like, maybe it's under the couch or behind the couch or something, but I know this is a thrilling revelation for my YouTube audience. But what is exciting is that I'm going to attempt to sail in the homemade boat tomorrow. So that is going to be, well, it's either going to be amazing or disastrous. I've decided that it's going to be an upside down bell curve. I don't think it's going to be average. If it works, I think I'm going to be really excited. And if it doesn't work or I break something, maybe I'll be able to fix it. I'm going to bring a little bit of tools and some extra stuff with me. But anyways, mountains, it's cooling off. That's good, Mark. Are you like up near Flagstaff? I know there's a lot of mountains in Arizona. Boat of duct tape. Yeah. The problem with the difference between making a boat and making something that floats is that, you could put a brick, like a hollow large wooden rectangle in the water, and it would float, and it would be like a raft or a boat, but it would not be great in the water. You know, it would float, but it wouldn't be a phenomenal boat. So I'm not expecting this thing to be an amazing boat, but I think to your point, Mark, about like if I really did have to bug out of LA, options are on foot, bicycle, electric skateboard. You forget I'm California. Do we have electric scooters, electric skateboards, electric bicycles? Who says you have to pedal? Man, pedaling is for suckers. That's what I always say. Dude, enough. Don't make me don't make me time you out, gamer girl. All right. Keep it PG-13. I don't want to hear you talking about my other subscribers' body parts. I get enough of that at work, for Christ's sake. No, but seriously. Um, okay, so back to how to get out of LA. Walking, wheeled transportation, either human powered or electric powered. Um, Obviously, the Dualsport motorcycle is really, there's a lot of very prepper esque things, bug out bags, like owning firearms, Dualsport motorcycles, paracord bracelets, all that like cliche preppers. I'm not saying a Dualsport's cliche, but if you were gonna give a picture of a prepper, it would be like a 4x4 or a Dualsport. You know, you know what I mean. So, so where was I going with that? Oh yeah, how to get out of LA. So there's a lot of ways to get out of LA. I think airplane would be a cool way to get out of LA. I work near an airport, and I really, really, really want to. Oh, cool, JD. I almost got a job with them. In fact, I was offered an interview, and I have a feeling I would have landed it because I was going to be assembling scooters. But I was like, I happen to have something else come along. Otherwise, I would have taken it. But yeah, but the problem with a dirt bike is before society collapses, you can't ride it around. So yes, if Law and Order is out the window and it's Mad Max outside, you can ride your dirt bike on the street. But otherwise, it has to be a street legal bike. Hence, dual sport. And to be honest, yes, I understand that dual sports are not as fully capable as an off-road motorcycle, but I have news for you. You probably aren't getting the most out of your dual sport. I mean, like if you put a professional rider on a dual sport and like average Joe who maybe rides once or twice a month or like a few times a year in the dirt, pretty sure the good rider on the dual sport would like demolish you on a real dirt bike. It might be close, but you get a lot of difference from being a good. Most people don't ride beyond their motorcycle's capabilities. Is what I'm saying. So, Billy Bird, what's going on? Small jet engine mounted on what? The plane? The bike? I mean, there's nothing wrong with a jet engine at the end of the world. You just have to make jet fuel. So if you can get an engine to run on vegetable oil, make a vegetable oil powered jet engine. Keep in mind, processing vegetable oil is an enormous amount of work. Oh, why do my subscribers insist on trolling me endlessly? Not even all of them, just some of them. So, what else are people working on? A scooter jet clamp fuel. The thing about jet fuel is it's flammable. Then you have to carry a fire extinguisher. And I'm not afraid of a lot of injuries, but two things I really don't like are like road rash type stuff. That's awful. And burns. Like that shit, not good, not fun to deal with. Broken bones, concussions, that stuff sucks. But oh, dude, don't even get me started on flying creative. I'm like this close to starting. Not this close. Okay, I'm this close to starting building a plane in my apartment because why not? Because I don't think it's a good excuse. Like I want to build a plane, but I feel like it'd be easier in a garage. Obviously, at the same time, who's to say I can't start in an apartment? People have done it. I just watched a video on this dude in China built a whole plane in his apartment, lowered it down like 5 stories out the window. Not even joking. Telling you, man, people around the world have crazy ingenuity. A horse, you would think, right? I don't like horses. The problem with horses is you have to keep a horse, and I'm in a city, so I can't really keep a horse. I don't know if I had a house if I could keep a horse. I mean, I can't keep a horse locally. If I bought a horse and kept it in a ranch or whatever, I guess I could take my bicycle to the horse and then get on the horse. But the thing is, horses are phenomenal modes of transportation, obviously. They're awesome creatures, too. They're not just taxis. Horses are more than human taxis. But, anyways, speaking of them as human taxis, a horse is a pretty decent. Yeah, that is what Uncle Al would say. Horse or he would. Okay, this is what Uncle Al would say. Take the horse, and if the horse, and if you get hungry, eat the horse. That's what Uncle Al would say. But exactly, JD. An animal is a huge amount of responsibility before or after shit hits the fan. Even if grass is free, you still have to make sure your horse grazes frequently enough, gets clean water. Horses eat a lot. They drink a lot of water. They do have potentially could have health issues. You got to take care of their hooves and the rest of their bodies and everything like that. So make sure no one steals it, no one injures it, that it doesn't get injured, it doesn't run off. Um, I don't think they're street legal. What's street legal? Horses are street legal. I don't think you can actually ride horses on the street in America. You should be able to ride a horse anywhere you want in America. Maybe not, with like the exception of like the freeway or an express lane or something where it's specifically cars going faster separated from but like regular city streets, you should totally be able to ride a horse around. Should be horse lanes. I don't know. That's a lot of horse crap though. And they're not that filthy of an animal, and hay isn't that bad if you could like collect horse manure. It's good for or collect. It's good fertilizer if you can let it season. I've never had horse actually. I don't. I'm. Yeah, no, I've never had horse. It's sort of people used to eat it more, and then I feel like America shifted to where it was sort of less. Like I think it's more. It's not quite as bad as like someone would think of you if you were eating a dog or a cat. But eating horse is definitely like, why would you eat a horse? Like, you know, I don't know. I sort of feel like it's a little bit stigmatized. Not that it's really overtly or publicly stigmatized, but just because it's so generally avoided. Like I think you could eat a buffalo burger. Like if you told your buddy, I went out to a bar last night. Do I? Who knows? Possible. I would be surprised. That'd be some shenanigans going on. There was something like London about buying horses, remember, or a horse meat. I'm pretty sure within a couple years ago, maybe. Rent my horse to Milan. Honestly, not to get too adult, but the best way to make money from a horse is to use the horse to sire other horses. Get a male horse and charge for making baby horses. That's probably the fastest, easiest way to make money with a horse. Has to be of like a good line though. But anyways, horses down. Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna have the horse carry your bicycle that has an electric scooter strapped to it that has a skateboard strapped to it? That's why I like things that are a little bit more reliable. I mean, a bicycle is a lot slower, and certainly there are some situations where maybe it would be better to have a horse than a bicycle going up or down crazy terrain, something like that. I don't know, but the thing is, a bicycle's not going to get hungry. A bicycle's not going to break its ankle. You might get a flat. Like if you're just doing normal bicycling stuff and you're not outrunning zombie hordes, the most you're ever going to get is like a flat tire. Maybe you'll break a chain, break a tooth on a sprocket, but you really shouldn't be like your bike should basically last a really long time if you have stuff to repair flats. And you can probably do some like old timey repairs, like some tree pitch and I don't know, maybe make some rubber in a clay pot or something to patch it. But anyway, my I know you got those special run flat tires, right? That's not a terrible way to go. They're heavy as hell though, and the rolling friction. We were talking about this, but I did not know that, Mark. What's up, WCAM? WCAM? You got to say it like a radio station or a TV station, right? WCAM. I don't have radio voice, but I can't sound that ridiculous. You gotta sound really weird to be on radio. Like weird but normal at the same time. That's radio voice. So what you're saying is I need to design a run flat tire that has less rolling resistance than a rubber tire. It's a noble goal. See, the problem is you have like two competing things, comfort and resistance, right? So you could have a rock hard tire and it had really low rolling resistance, but you'd have no cushion. Or you can have a heavy cushy tire or maybe a light cushy tire that's comfortable, but it would be really cool if you could change it. Like if you could change the rolling, like sort of like a onboard PSI adjuster like Humvees have. In fact, I don't know if any bicycles, if that would be a really interesting tech to develop in bicycles. I'm sure people would use it. I mean, not all bikes you would want to ever lower the tires, but night vision, yeah, you don't really need night vision. I mean, it would be dark. If all the lights were off in LA, it would obviously be very, very dark. I about your Mark, to your question about California, is it game over in California? I don't think so. California has definitely uh, faced serious struggles. Thank you, creative, for the being a good moderator. You're taking moderation very seriously, creative. I appreciate that. Um, we have to fight for our freedom. Um, every every day in what we do and how we live. Uh, so that's kind of what I think about California. I mean, you could take the best state in the country or the best country in the world, as far as freedom, adherence to the Constitution, looking out for its people, whatever metric you want to compare it by. And if you ask the question, is this country, not why is this country great, but is this country going to be great forever? The X country. I think the answer is not necessarily. There's no guarantee that your kids and their kids and their kids, I mean, look at what the founding fathers tried to do and look at what we have today. Perfect example. Obviously, a lot of things have changed. The founding fathers couldn't possibly imagine that, they had newspapers, obviously, back in the founding fathers' day, but you couldn't write an article and have it instantly be visible to millions and millions of people. You could give a speech to a crowd, but YouTube is like giving a speech to anyone on the planet anytime they feel like watching it. So it's a little hard for them to probably conceive the ability to influence other people, but I don't think it's game over in California. I think California is losing its way in terms of what it means to be, a state, what it means to be an American. But yeah, the history says all empires fall, but that seems a little unfortunate. It's like the cultural intelligence just gets lowered. If we know history repeats itself and we know certain reasons why empires fail or fall, you would think we would try to prevent it. And I think some people are trying to prevent it, um, but not everyone is. And a lot of people aren't doing anything. You know, they don't talk about it with their friends. They don't, get involved in any kind of way. You just kind of let it, just watch it happen, or they don't think anything bad is happening. They think it's all great. I did read about that, JD. I did read about that, and it makes me wonder, like, if I don't know if that level of judge, I think they get appointed, and it's not. I don't know if do they have term limits. The judge is in the Ninth Circuit. What's their term limit? Let me look that up. I wonder if I could even look this up. If it's going to be easy. 7 years. Okay, 7 years, or until they're 70. Oof, 70's awful old. I mean, profit is part of it. Greed for profit. Maybe not just greed of money, but greed for power, greed for control, influence, conformity. Nice thing about sailing, you go wherever you want on the water, mostly wherever you want. Well, I mean, the housing thing is an issue. There are a lot of homeless for different reasons. Um, Housing, not the least of which. And I'm certainly not one of those people that thinks, like they're all on drugs or alcohol. There is a lot of drug and alcohol use in the homeless. There's also a lot of drug and alcohol use in people that have houses. So I don't think it's fair to really say, oh, they're all drunk. If you were homeless, you might want to drink too. Trust me. I haven't really been homeless, but I'm just saying. See you, creative. Take care. I think the toughest part about homelessness is that it's difficult to transition to non-homelessness. You know, Getting to interviews, keeping yourself clean, staying out of trouble. Even if you're not like a troublemaker, you're just loitering somewhere on the stairs. You never know. Some local police could just come talk to you for whatever reason. Who knows? So just sort of keeping a normal, quiet life, not getting attacked, not screwing your life up, not, keeping yourself clean, fed, in some kind of health is a project in and of itself. And then trying to transition to getting a job, and you're probably going to be able to get a job before you can afford housing, and that's kind of a big challenge, obviously. That maintaining a job when you don't have permanent housing is, stressful on an individual. So I think one thing that would really help homeless is sort of trying to understand the challenges they face as they transition to leaving homelessness or houselessness rather. They have a home, they're American or whatever, even if they're not, here legally, it's still their home, and the chances of them getting kicked out are relatively low. So they may as well, plan on it being their home. There's some recent initiatives in LA to work on it. I mean, they've been doing it for a while, but there's like a new one. We'll see whether or not anything comes of it. So, what kind of prepper things are you working on, people? Yeah, I think about that too, Mark. I really do. I mean, I don't think I'm going to leave, but I do think about it. On the one hand, at least it's good prepper experience for the end of the world, because sometimes, walking around in LA, it is like Mad Max. So every time I get on the freeway, it's like a life and death situation, between cars, people going crazy, shit in the road. What's going on, Die Bullfrog? I'm probably going to jump off in a few minutes just because I've got to find something. What did you do, Joe, in the short term? What's up, Sam? That's what I'm saying, Mark. California is not for the faint of heart. It's very difficult. to even kind of live comfortably, in my opinion, in California. Getting a decent-ish job, keeping a decent-ish job. Oh, there's going to be so many missing parts, JD. Don't even know. I've that's Sailing the boat is the easiest part. Getting it to the beach, getting it into the water, like in one piece. It's, uh, it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving, a lot of trips up and down stairs with my gate between cars. And then I have the added bonus of, since I have an SUV, I can't load the car and load the top at the same time. So I sort of have to load the car, get everything in there, then put the stuff on the top, because once I have boards on the top, I can't open the tailgate. Not to mention, I'm going to have 3 boards on top of my car. I think that's enough to make a wing. I think my car could fly if I stretched them all out like this. Just drive fast, really, really fast down the freeway and pull up and see what happens. But yeah, should be interesting. Who can run with 100 pounds of ammo? That's a lot of weight. Yeah, I mean, theoretically, you gotta look long term, right? When people talk about prepping and the something happening, it's sort of like, well, I have this much food and I have this bug out location and I have this knife, whatever. But if it really, really is long term, something super, super big and crazy, and I do think that society will organize and will form culture and do, it's not like we're going to forget how to use a cell phone. It's just we're not going to have cell phone service. So depending on how long it takes us to kind of get technology back up in order, yeah, you could use solar power, but can you make a PV panel from scratch from nothing? No, you know. But you could salvage an old treadmill motor and make a windmill or something. Who knows? But the point is, things are going to get back to some kind of organization at some point. So at some point after the something happening happens, there'll be somewhere you can go buy some food. It's not going to look like Wendy's, but there'll be somewhere you can buy some food, get some water, trade some ammo, what have you. Until you get to that point, you're going to have to survive on your preps and what you know. So if you have 2 years of preps and it takes a year for society to organize, which I think is optimistic, you're fine. If you have 2 years of preps and it takes 5 years for society to come back together, then years 3, 4, and 5, you're on your own. Maybe you can stretch that 2 years of preps out to 2.5 years by rationing or whatever, hunting squirrels. But at some point, depending on how long it takes, you don't have anything, you know. So that's I think how you kind of have to look at, well, how many years of food should I have? Well, the more years of food you have, the less years of headaches you have related to food. But at the same time, um, you might not always have it. And even if you do have it stored, you might not always have access to it. It might You might not always have control of it. You might have a lot more people to feed than you realized. Who knows? There's a lot of people say, well, I wouldn't feed anyone and I wouldn't help anyone, and I can't afford to. It's my family, and that's fine. I'm not judging you for that, but you might run into a group of people that you would you would rather have half as much as your food and feed them than have 2 years worth of food because you're a human being and you don't want to see them starve. Who knows? Well, I don't know if we can all get into the boat, but there's buoyancy is one of my main concerns. Rigging, the rudder, the strength of the rudder, and buoyancy and weight distribution being four are some of my biggest concerns for sure. It's not going to sink completely. I might have a weird attitude in the boat, but it's definitely not going to sink. Earth abide. I'm not catching that die bullfrog. If I had a normal boat that could carry people, I would definitely consider inviting some preppers along going sailing or something. Well, it would be a little tough. I would be a terrible smuggler because I can't really fit a lot of people on my boat. And since I don't have a hold, or everything is on the surface, I'd have to tow him in a submarine behind the boat, and that would be a little interesting. I wouldn't go very fast. It's supposed to be a fast boat. I know the thing weighs probably 250 pounds, and it's going to take. In fact, speaking of wind, let's take a quick look at the wind. Should be enough wind to be interesting, anyways. Oh my lord. It's going to be really windy tomorrow. We're looking to have an exact repeat of my maiden voyage, which is when it was way too windy and it was a disaster. So we're going to see if we can have a disaster tomorrow launching this boat. But honestly, if it does work and it doesn't break and the wind picks up, I'm going to be I'm going to be moving. I think it's going to be a quick boat if the weight kind of works all right. It could be really exciting. We'll see. Yeah, I that's why I'm probably going to load up the entire car tonight because I by the time I load up the car, I'm like exhausted. Not exhausted, but I mean, it definitely, I swear it takes like at least 1,000 calories, 500 calories to 1,000 to load up that boat. It's not just like the stairs. I can handle stairs. I can handle carrying the shit, but it's like the stairs have the railing have these bars, vertical bars going around them. So I'm like smashing the board into all these bars. It's like, god damn it. I just want a garage. If I had a garage, I could drop all three of them down at the same time. And like when I get home, I could pick them all up. How tight would that be? Now there's a great Uncle Al comment. Great white bait. Believe me, if I saw a shark, I would not be loving it. Okay, how do you fight dimensional space? Joe, I have no idea what you're talking about. With sound, the golden tones. Okay. Not quite following you, Joe, but that's all right. Are you saying that sound weapons of the future? I think we have sound weapons. What's going on, Kalin? If I sailed enough, I would start seeing marine life, dolphins, seals, whatever. I mean, it'd be cool to see a shark. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't seen a lot in the wild. Only small ones. I haven't really seen like bigger sharks. I really don't want to get nibbled on by a shark. Not so much because like if it took my foot, it would be the end of the world. Yeah, it would be really rough, and obviously it would kind of suck to not have two real feet. But I think the trauma of getting attacked by a shark, in my opinion, would be worse than the physical injury. It'd be terrifying, depending on how quick it was and like how many bites it took. Maybe I've just seen Jaws too many times. Nice. Yeah, Kalen, we got to get you back. You know what you got to do, Kalen, for the trike? This is a great way to let people know where you are. You take a playing card and you tape it to your spoke, and then when you're riding, it goes da 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 da. And since you got two wheels in the back, you have like a twin. You have like a V twin, so it'd be like da 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 da. I think that's really what you should do with your bicycle. In fact, I'm gonna send you a link to an exhaust for your bicycle. You're gonna like this. Hold on. I think we need to get you an exhaust, Kalin. Somebody invented this, and it's like the greatest thing in the world. Uh, Having problems getting to YouTube right now. Sorry, watching Turbo Spoke. What's up, Inspired? Yeah, yeah, I think it's your ears, Joe. Oh my god. I'm all right. My arm hurts from doing not very heavy lifting, which is terrible. Ooh, shoulder. Part of the reason I made this windsurf, the sailboat thing, is so that it would be less strenuous than windsurfing all day. But I'm beginning to think by the time I drag the boat to the beach, drag it on my car, drag it to the beach, drag it back on my car, it'd be easier just to windsurf. The job's good. The job's good. Working, making money, like all good Americans should, unless they've developed wealth through other means. Someday I want to get rich by other people working and making money. I think that's a better way to do it. Honestly, my secret plan is to have 5 kids and put them all to work for me. I'm going to be flipping houses and homeschooling them, so they're going to learn about all the stuff they need to learn by flipping houses. It's going to be educational, you know, somehow. I don't know how. I mean, the sciences and stuff like that, and English, the art, some of those are a little bit easier, but we'll see. Like history, like how would you work history into house flipping? That's a little more challenging, but you could probably do it somehow. Like you could, write a report on lumber, like look up the history of lumber, something random. Eventually, I want to rig up a fishing pole mount to put in a corner of the basket. That's one piece of PVC pipe and 2 hose clamps. Done. That's my advice. And if you want to get a long piece of PVC, that's fine. But sometimes at Home Depot they sell like 24-inch sections of like project pipe, so you don't even have to cut it. They can cut. Usually, you can get it cut. Uh, yeah. Usually, they have like a little station where you can cut your own stuffs. But yeah, that's super easy. If you have somewhere near where you can fish, that's super cool. Plus, you can put your fish cooler in the back. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to catch up to the comments here. How's the fire looking? What fire? Will it keep going, John? They haven't put it out yet. Oh, is there a fire in Sweden? I mean, it's not all about making money, but when you want to do things like have a boat, plane, buy a house, start a family. Not to say I couldn't start a family living on the streets. If starting a family is more important than being financially secure, that's the way I would go. But karate lessons are expensive. architecture be a great. I mean, I think without too much trouble, you could bring a lot of things in real estate um, and relate them to history. Can't. Yeah, it was kind of a joke link, but I just thought I would share it. If you wanted to be like biker Kalin. Yeah, we do, Yorn, and I don't know. Wait, are you in? Oh, you're saying we have 40 wildfires. I thought you were like LA we have. I'm like, wait, you're not in LA. I'm sorry to hear that, Yorn. Let me Google that real quick. Okay, well, without spending too much time Googling that, yeah, sorry to hear about that, Yorn, but stay safe, man. Yeah, I could get a homeless girlfriend. People that don't have houses need romance too. I have a very limited, unfortunately, at the moment, I have a somewhat limited amount of time for romance myself, but life's short, so you got to do what you got to do. I think we're going to give it a few more minutes here, and have not been getting a lot of prepper updates. Oh, I missed JD taking off. Whoops. Doing my best to read everything. So, Die Bullfrog, did you hear? Oh, what's up, Christy? Die Bullfrog, did you hear about the Stockton Batman? Let me share something with you about Stockton Batman, who recently citizens arrested a guy smoking meth in front of the 99-cent store, which is like the most Stockton thing you could ever do. It's a pretty Inland Valley thing, actually. But let's see. You have to ice your arm. All right. Well, go take care of your arm, man. You need those. So yeah, so this guy grew up in Stockton, still lives in Stockton, and I guess he was tired of it turning into, I don't know, rough area, right? So he goes around citizens arresting people all the time, and it's well, that sounds better than I fell peeing onto a wall. If you're peeing against a wall and then you fall, you're really hammered. But if you fall off a wall while peeing, the first thing I want to ask is why were you standing on a wall? Were you peeing into a hole? Did you fall in a pee hole? I hope you didn't fall in the hole you were peeing in. That's not the place you want to fall. Anyways, I hope I hope you will be able to, gain full use of it in the future. If not, maybe I could interest you in a nice prosthetic arm. Comes with all sizes of Allen key Phillips, number 123 Phillips, number 123 flathead. I was at work the other day, and one of my coworkers wanted to move something that uh, can be set up to be moved. It wasn't. It was sort of currently set up to be stationary, but you can set it up to be moved. And my coworker was like, "Do you want to help me move this real quick?" And I said, "No." I was like, that thing weighs a lot. I said, I need my back for stuff, like tomorrow. Oh, I gotta get some water. I'm dying. Give me a minute. Man, it's already hot enough. I want to put on the AC. A little bit annoying. Teaching your kid to pee outside. Well, that is a noble goal, and it is one of the most convenient things about being a guy. I suppose it's something you should teach to your daughters too, because when you're on a hike in the middle of nowhere, got to go to the bathroom. Sometimes you got to go. You got to go. So prepared, and you don't want like it's one thing if your kid's like doesn't love going to the bathroom outside, but if your kid refuses to go to the bathroom outside, and then like they soil themselves and you only had that one pair of pants, which I guess if you're a prepared parent and your kid was youngish, you might want to have extras, but just saying. Talk to you later, inspired. Well, I will leave the going to the bathroom outside for women to discuss. It's unless I have a daughter, and then maybe I'll get my wife to teach her how to take care of business in the woods. Mm. Oh man, I don't have a physically strenuous job, but I kind of sit down a lot. So I don't sit down all day, fortunately. But it's I can't. It's it's hard for me to get my hair cut exactly how I want it. And the problem with getting it cut, thank you, by the way. The problem with getting it cut exactly how I want it is that every point after that, it's just gets longer and longer and longer, right? So ideally, I would have them cut it a week or two short of what I really want it to look like so that I go from being a little short, to being a little longer. Um, I know it looks like I'm going to join the military with a haircut, right? But the thing is, in about a couple weeks after I get a haircut this short, then it starts to look a lot more like how I want it. And since it's hard to get it this short with scissors, I found the easiest way is just to kind of get it buzzed. But the lady who cut my hair, oh, she was so terrible. My hair's really thick, and when it gets long, they just try to like. I'm like, you gotta be careful, lady. Like, don't. This isn't mowing the lawn. Like, this is my hair, and it's connected to my head. Don't be ripping it off. It wasn't like it was a $5 haircut or anything, but some people just don't know how to cut hair properly. Unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I might grow it out. If it wasn't hot, if it didn't get hot, I already run warm anyways. I'm always running warm. So when it's warm outside, I have to cut it. Otherwise, I just get overheated too much. But I would grow it out if it wasn't hot here. It would be a challenge. I don't really have a good face for long hair. I sort of have a more like short, clean cut type. I'm more like that anyways, but anyways. Christy, how is your situation, Christy? I don't really want to share it with the group if it's not something to be shared with, but just out of curiosity. I know doing big bold things is something that I think a lot of our group members would appreciate. Gosh, why? Sorry, I'm trying to navigate over to some prepping related news to see if there's anything interesting going on. Maybe my first question is sort of like what like you're in a house or like what's the situation out there? Are you like building a house? Or are you in an RV? Or if you don't mind me asking, just out of sheer curiosity, are you in a canvas tent? Oh, what's up, Steve? Take it easy, brother. Yeah, water, right? Very much so. Yeah, that's hard. I come home sometimes from work after being in the car, and it's been kind of warm recently, and even in the evening it's kind of warm. I just feel warm. In fact, I gotta throw some water in the fridge. I don't have any cold water right now. And I think I'm out of ice cubes, which is even worse. I heard about these tornadoes. Well, that's good. Life is more comfortable in a home for sure. Is it like is it pretty sparse? Like how many neighbors would you say you have like 10 miles in each direction? That's that's really hot. That's dangerous hot. 2 days ago. Good lord. You're crazy. That is some crazy weather, without a doubt. Your neighbors are 5 miles apart. That's pretty legit. That's really cool. You know, Let me ask you this. Could I land an ultralight on your property? If I had a plane, could I land in front of your house? Is it nice and flat? What's up, just in time? Or Will? Someday when I build a plane, I'm gonna do videos like how aviation relates to prepping. I can't really do it now because I don't have a plane. Billy, try to keep it PG, people. PG-13, preferably. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, I don't know why you're sorry, Kalin. I don't think you did anything wrong. Yeah, I've been catching a couple of his live streams. What was the last live stream that he talked? I can't remember what he was talking about, but it was good. Isn't that a nice thing to say? I can't remember what the stream was about, but I enjoyed it. He has a really good, I think, kind of sense. Like he has a lot of common sense, so he can kind of talk about when he speaks about issues related to prepping. I always feel like he does it with a really accurate perspective on, you know, like, are you really going to do this? Is this what your plan really is? Kind of a little more critical thinking than just get a bunch of knives or something like that, right? But yeah, so that's my weekend going to be boat related, and with any luck, a lot of luck, we're going to get uh, some evidence, getting some evidence of my adventures on the water. So photographic and potentially videographic. We'll see. It'd be cool if I had a subscriber with a drone. How crazy would that be to get some drone footage? I don't care what you're doing, but when you shoot it with a drone, it looks better. You could be sitting in a park, and if you shoot it with a drone, you can make it look epic somehow. Drones are magic like that. I might have to buy one of these days, but it would be such a toy. Like you can't really justify it as being anything more than a toy. No, yeah, that the comment I made about PG-13 comments was not related to you, Kalin, at all in any way. I promise. It's related to someone who took a little break. Yeah, I won't talk about it, but yeah, PG comments. So I think I'm gonna head off if there's no other burning desires. I think that doing a long live stream, you got to have like if I was doing a recap, that would be good to do. Yeah, and I know you're far away, Christy. I mean, you're welcome to come down to Cabrillo Beach if you feel like getting in the car and driving for a million hours. It's not like an exclusive boat launch. I'm at a public park. It's just most of my subs aren't anywhere remotely near me, so I haven't really made a big point of saying, yeah, come down to the beach. But I certainly wouldn't stop a prepper friend from coming to visit. It might get a little boring, I have to admit, because if I'm out on the water and some of my friends come, what if I want to go sailing for like 4 hours? Are they just going to like wait on the shore for 4 hours, playing games on their cell phone? That's not super interesting. They should be prepping. They should be using that time to prep, right? And be making a fire, with a stick and stuff. Comment on Kaylin, I've really been thinking about. Let me get some water. Sorry, I want to. Well, I guess I have enough water. I don't need to talk forever about this stuff, but I've been thinking about that. I really have. Um, I think it'd be cool, especially if we could throw in some prepper games. I really don't need the headache of trying to organize something big, but for example, let's say you had a weekend where you camped somewhere and you had prepper Olympics, even if it was just, you and your friends. Like it's not like you're inviting preppers from across the world to compete. Although that would be hilarious if preppers like started flying in. I think it would be great. I think you could really do something with that. A prepper Olympics. Obviously, it's not of the same scope as the Olympics, but like a friendly competition. Like the Spartan runs and stuff like that. Now that's a thing. I think it could be a thing. That's not too bad. Faster if you go 100 miles an hour, right, Christy? Gonna be at Cabrillo Beach sometime during the day. I don't know. Sometime. I have no idea. But yeah, so that is what time we'll be at the beach. Got to finish making a cart today. Last time I dragged the damn thing to the water, and that was a disaster. Not a disaster, but like I said, I don't want the whole process to exhaust me. Someday I might have a trailer if I keep it that long. I don't know, but it would be really cool. It'd be really cool to launch it like a regular boat and use the boat ramp, because then I could put the whole thing together, drive it over the ramp, lower it in. Um, I do have a tow hitch, and even what I was thinking is like if I made a fakey trailer only for the like to launch, like not for the freeways, not good enough for the freeways, but good enough to launch it. That would be a really interesting method. People would probably laugh at me, or they might think, "Wow, that's really cool." Who knows? But the main goals tomorrow are to safely test the boat, not get harassed too much by the Coast Guard, not run into any other boats. Excuse me, and have fun. Maybe we'll teach any prepper friends that show up how to sail. I don't know. It's not a great teaching platform. It's not really like other boats, and I can't like ride along tandem to give lessons. So until I'm sure that it's kind of a functional craft, I don't want my friend to like borrow it, break something, end up on the rocks, and he's just like out there staring at me like, oh shit, he's gonna kill me now, you know. So, but we'll see. I'm nervously excited. It's gonna be an event. It's gonna be emotions are gonna be flying. Stop, Billy Bird. Look, smuggling's a terrible thing for a lot of different reasons. Not just because I want to keep, people smuggled out of the country, but it's bad for the people that get smuggled. It's it's not a fun voyage for a lot of people that travel like that, or travel that are moved like that. So let's not make light of it too much. But anyway, so without further ado, I think I'm going to sign off and tear my entire apartment upside down looking for this piece that I have no idea where it is, but it's somewhere, and I should be able to find it. I don't think I threw it away, which means it's somewhere. So until next time. Oh, Kalin with the. I was like, I didn't do that. How did that happen? But yeah, I appreciate it, Kalin. I mean, look, I've gotten into it a couple times with other subs about certain issues and gotten a little emotional about certain stuff. It's not, in America, you're basically free to say whatever you want, whenever you want, to whoever you want, as long as it's not threatening or like grossly crude or something. Like we have some laws about being like, disturbing the peace. Like if you just went up and swearing at a bunch of kids, like I think some lady sweared at a kid recently for something and got in trouble for it. Like you got to kind of be civil. But with that being said, um, I'm a proponent of free speech. It's not a private YouTube stream, but it is a YouTube stream that I'm sort of supporting. That's my kill. Um, but but yeah, Cali meetup would be fun. I would love to go to a national meetup. I would really love to start a Los Angeles Prepper Expo. Maybe I'd call it the Prexpo. Maybe that's too lame. I don't know. But thanks, Christy. Didn't you go through all your preps last weekend? Just kidding. Should put them in a spreadsheet. That's what I would do. Put them in a spreadsheet with lots of filters and colors, so you can filter it by all sorts of different things. But until next time, people, keep working on your projects, keep prepping. I want. This is my challenge for you for the month of August. We're too late in July. I'm not going to give you a July challenge, and there's a week left in July. My challenge to you is do something big. Try to not doesn't have to be crazy big, like what Christy's working on, relocating an entire flock, but something. Try to get beyond your comfort zone. Try to do something challenging, something you've never done before, something that requires multiple days, weeks, even months, maybe, of effort to make happen. It doesn't have to be prepping related. It could be. I think it should be personally, but it doesn't have to be. But try to, it's fun to have like projects. So I think humans with all the internet and all the phones have been getting very divided. Their attention, is drawn between way too many things. And there's nothing wrong with being curious about stuff, but you can't like vigorously pursue 20 things at once. You're just not really. Oh, nice. Pallets of food. Damn. Like full pallets. Like straight up forklift taking pallet off the truck pallet. That's a lot of food. Be my friend, Christy. I'll teach you how to sail. You teach me where you get this delicious pallet food. But yeah, work. That's my challenge. Work on something. Do something. Build something. Learn about something. Improve your preps in a certain way. It doesn't have to be go buying a bunch of food. Could be making fire with a bow drill for the first time, or with a magnifying glass, or could be a lot of things. Go on a hike, go on a 5 mile hike, carry a heavy pack. Your bug out bag weighs 50 pounds, and you always told yourself you can carry it, but you haven't been training with it. Put your pack on. Tell me what 50 pounds feels like, or 30 pounds feels like. You know, probably could. It wouldn't probably be. It might not be as cheap as if like a architect or a contractor designed it, since I might go a little stronger than not. But step number one is dig a hole in the ground. And interestingly, digging a hole is actually a little more dangerous than you would think. You gotta kind of be careful. But concrete and rebar is probably the cheapest, strongest, easiest way to do it. Some form of concrete and rebar. But yeah, dig a hole in the ground. I think rather than necessarily going like deep underground, I think just below the surface is really the better way to go, because once you start having dirt on top of you, like dirt on the sides, you can kind of manage, but dirt on top of you starts getting really freaking heavy, and that's kind of an issue. But it's good for temperature. I mean, really good for temperature. I mean, if all you like, if that house, I mean, you probably have AC at the house and whatnot, but maybe you could make like a little subterranean patio. How cool would that be? Like a little semi-terranean patio where it drops down, and if you have a bunch of earth kind of exposed, you can get some cooling from that. Repurposing the pallets is a really good idea. I have a feeling she does something with them. I have a feeling. She seems pretty resourceful person like that. All right. Well, that's all for now. I got to get back to boat related things. Um, you have your challenge. Work on something interesting and exciting the next few months. Um, keep keep doing things. Keep learning. Keep growing. Keep having fun. Keep having a regular life. Have a nice regular real life on the side. Don't be 110% prepping. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe. Keep prepping. LA Prepper is out of here.